It was a Friday night in Nairobi, and the city was alive with the buzz of weekend revelance. The clubs were packed, the music was loud, and the light from the skyscraper shimmered like a thousand stars. Aisha, a 28 years old marketing executive, stepped into the club halo with her friends. She was ready to let loose after a grueling week at work. The music pulsed through her veins as they made their way to the bar. "One tequila shot for each of us," she shouted over the music, her eyes sparkling with mischief. The bar attendants quickly obliged, and they raised their glasses in unison. Across the room, Eric, a 30-year-old software developer, watched the scene unfold. He was out with his colleague, celebrating a successful project launch. His eyes looked onto Aisha and he felt a magnetic pull. "I'll be right back," Eric said to his friends. Not taking his eyes off her, he made his way through the throng of dancers, feeling his heart race with anticipation. Aisha felt a tap on her shoulder and turned to see Eric standing there, a confident smile on his face. "Do you mind if I join you?" he asked, his voice smooth and inviting. She looked him up and down, appreciating his sharp features and the way his shirt clung to his broad shoulders. "Sure," she said, her curiosity piqued. They started talking, the conversation flowing effortlessly. They discovered they had a lot in common: a love for travel, a passion for their careers, and a mutual appreciation for good music. The chemistry between them was undeniable. As the night progressed, their flirtation grew bolder. They danced, their bodies moving in sync to the rhythm of the music, the tension between them building with each passing moment. "Want to get out of here?" Eric whispered in her ear, his breath warm against her skin. Aisha felt a thrill of excitement run through her. She nodded and they stepped out of the club hand in hand. They hired a cab and made their way to Eric's apartment, the city lights blurring past them. The air was thick with anticipation as they exchanged heated glances, their hands entwined. Inside the apartment, the atmosphere was charged with electricity. Eric poured them both a glass of wine and they sat on the couch, their bodies close, the tension between them almost palpable. "So what do you do for fun?" Aisha asked, taking a sip of her wine, her eyes never leaving his. Eric smiled, leaning in closer. "This," he said. His voice was a low murmur. He kissed her, their lips meeting in a fierce, passionate embrace. The kiss deepened, their hands exploring each other's body, their desire growing with each passing second. They moved to the bed, the air thick with lust. Clothes were discarded hastily, and they fell onto the bed, their body entwined, lost in the heat of the moment. The night was a blur of passion and intensity, their bodies moving together in perfect harmony. They gave themselves completely to the moment, the outside world fading away as the first light of dawn crept into the room. They lay in each other's arms, their breaths coming in soft, contented sight. Aisha traced her finger along Eric's chest, a small smile playing on her lips. "That was amazing," she said, her voice filled with wonder. Eric nodded, his eyes closed, a satisfying smile on his face. "Yeah, it really was." They lay there in silence for a while, the morning light casting a warm glow over their entwined body. It was a moment of perfect peace, a rare connection in the midst of the chaos of their life. Eventually, Aisha reluctantly sat up, the reality of the situation sinking in. "I should go," he said softly, her voice tinged with regret. Eric nodded, understanding but reluctant to let the moment end. They dressed in silence, the intimacy of the previous night lingering in the air as Aisha prepared to leave. Eric walked her to the door, their hands brushing one last time. "Maybe we'll see each other again," he asked, a hopeful glint in his eyes. Aisha smiled, leaning in to kiss him one last time. "Maybe," she said, her voice soft and energetic. She left the apartment, the morning air cool against her skin. As she walked down the street, her mind was a whirl of emotions. She knew that what they had shared was something special, even if it was just for one night. Over the next few days, Aisha found herself thinking about Eric. Often, she replayed their nights together in her mind, a smile tugging at her lips at the memory of their connection. Meanwhile, Eric was also lost in thoughts of Aisha. He couldn't shake the feeling that their encounter had been more than just a fleeting moment. He felt a pull towards her, a desire to see her again. Fate, it seems, had other plans. One evening, as Aisha was leaving her office, she bumped into Eric at a coffee shop down the street. Their eyes met, and the words seemed to stop for a moment. "Aisha?" he asked, his voice filled with surprise and delight. "Eric," she replied, a wild smile spreading across her face. They embraced, the connection between them rekindled instantly. They sat down for coffee, the conversation flowing as easily as it had that night at the club. They talked about their lives, their dreams, and the straight twist of fate that had brought them together again. As the evening turned into night, they found themselves walking through the city, the streets illuminated by the soft glow of street lights. The chemistry between them was as strong as ever. "I can't believe we ran into each other like this," Aisha said, her eyes shining with happiness. Eric nodded, a thoughtful look on his face. "Maybe it's a sign," he said softly. They stopped at a small park, sitting on a bench under a canopy of stars. The air was filled with the scent of blooming flowers, and the sound of crickets creeping added a peaceful backdrop to their conversation. "So what now?" Aisha asked, her voice filled with curiosity. Eric looked at her, his eyes reflecting the starlight. "How about we see where this goes?" he suggested, his voice filled with hope. Aisha smiled, feeling a warm spread through her chest. "I like that," she said, her voice soft and sincere. They sat in silence for a while, the night wrapping around them like a comforting blanket. Over the next few weeks, Aisha and Eric saw each other frequently. They explored the city together, went on long walks, and shared countless conversations that deepened their connection. They laughed together, shared their dreams, and supported each other through the challenges of their lives. It was as if they had known each other forever, their bond growing stronger with each passing day. One weekend, they decided to take a trip to the coast. They spent their days lounging on the beach, swimming in the clear blue waters, and enjoying the simple pleasure of life. One evening, as they watched the sun set over the ocean, Eric took Aisha's hand in his heart pounding with anticipation. Aisha, I know this might seem fast, but I have fallen for you, he confessed, his voice trembling with emotion. Aisha felt a rush of emotions, her heart swelling with love. Eric, I feel the same way, she said, her voice filled with the sincerity. They kissed, the world around them fading away as they lost themselves in each other. Their relationship bloomed each day, bringing new joy and deeper connections. They supported each other's dream, celebrated each other's success, and faced the challenges of life together. Months turned into a year, and their love only grew stronger. They moved in together, their life intertwined in a beautiful dance of love and companionship. One evening, as they sat on their balcony, watching the city lights twinkle in the distance, Eric took Aisha's hand in his, a serious look in his eyes. Aisha, there's something I need to ask you, he said, his voice filled with emotions. Aisha looked at him, her heart pounding in her chest. What is it? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Eric took a deep breath. Reaching into his pocket, he pulled out a small velvet box and opened it to reveal a sparkling diamond ring. Aisha, will you marry me? He asked, his voice trembling with hope and love. Tears filled Aisha's eyes as she looked at the ring, her heart overflowing with joy. Yes, Eric, yes, she exclaimed, throwing her arms around him. They kissed, the promise of a future together shining brightly in their hearts.